And happy Tuesday, everyone. It is the Tuesday before Halloween, so we've got kind of a spooky thing going on tonight. Um, I don't have a Halloween hoodie, so I didn't realize I was uh, deficient until I went to look for one, and I don't have one. So it is what it is. But happy Halloween. Um, I hope all you that don't have little ones get candy so little ones can come to your house and scare you, right? I will be not trick or treating this year. I will be handing out candy. So uh, it's my job and I'm proud to do it. But so happy Halloween, everybody. Um, we already have a lot of people in here. So let's see what's going on. Or maybe we have a few people and they're just conversing a lot. Let's see. Roy is first one in. How you doing, Roy? It's actually a day closer to Halloween where you are. Do y'all celebrate Halloween? I don't know. I think it's where did they tell me that started? It wasn't Germany. Ireland maybe? It started in Ireland, so I don't know if you do or not. Roy is talking to Randy saying, "Good day. Question, does your ZR go clunk when turned off as if the IBIS isn't locked?" Oh. Randy got a I'm at a loss for words. I have one right over there. A thing that makes the camera hold steady. It'll come to me, folks. Anyway, Randy got one, and uh, I like mine with a small camera. I mean, it works great with the M6. It is a lot bigger to hold and carry than obviously the action camera. So I tend to not use it very often, but they are cool. And it's got all kinds of switches, so you can do all kinds of stuff. But Randy just got one, so I'll let him tell you about it. He did a video on it with it. Yes. And Roy's saying good day, good day. I just love that. And Randy saying hi to Roy. And Randy says, take that back. The ZF does the clunking, not the Z6 Mark II. Uh, Randy says Z8 and Z9, they did. Did you sell those or do you still have them? Randy says, do not forget to give a like and subscribe. Hello, everyone. I hope your week was a fantastic one. Stream should start shortly. I don't know what time you said that, but yes, it should. Randy says, same as the Z6 Mark II and the ZF. Nikon does not lock the sensor when turned off. Oh, I did not know that. And Scott made it in. Hey, hey, and howdy. How are you, sir? I liked your post about that they paid musicians, $100 a gig 100 years ago, and they're still paying that today. No inflation there, buddy. Roy's talking to Brandy saying, thanks, I'm more used to the Z8 and Z9. Those are the big boys. Roy says, Aussies don't really follow Halloween. Oh, okay. Well, here it's for me personally, it's not a taboo holiday like it is for some people. Um, it's a one night fun thing to get dressed up, act like a fool, and get lots of candy. That's how I look at it. So, gimbal, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. It's a gimbal. Yes, I knew that. It's in my vocabulary. But apparently, my brain is shrinking. A spork? To gimbal? I thought you got the scorpion. No? Maybe not. Maybe I was wrong. Roy says, I think Halloween started in Wales as All Hallows Eve. Okay. I knew it was in that general vicinity. And Jeff made it in. G'day, Sly. How are you on the way home to watch? I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. And I'm so glad y'all are here. Because y'all are going to want to hear what news I have. Roy says, when in Wales, I saw the village parade through the streets dressed to frighten ghouls, etc. Yes, all the ghouls are supposed to come out on Halloween. So, and that's just part of in America anyway. That's just part of kids growing up. I mean, I think I trick or treated till I was 11 or 12, and thankfully, I've always been short, so I could pass as one of the bigger kids longer than I should have. Let's put it that way. But I like getting candy. Mookie's here. Welcome, sir. Hello, everyone. I hope y'all are doing well. Yes, we are doing fantastic. Um, and Roy says, I bought plenty of chocolate already, but my wife just finished it. Well, didn't you buy it for her? Yeah. Okay. So, as many of you know and have been hearing about it until you are, up to here with it, I finally did sell my house. Yay. It was kind of uh, it was an emotional day because I have needed to get that done for so very long. And now that it's done, it's like, that's not my house anymore. So, uh, as you know, we had all the paperwork done to close with another party back at the end of September, and the lady ghosted everybody. And so but the paperwork was already done. So, when this new buyer, uh, we had to drop a new contract and all that stuff, but we met Friday and signed the paperwork, and then we were supposed to close Monday, and we showed up, and he didn't. Now, he put down a substantial down payment, so it was like, surely he's not gonna just walk away from that. And, we're confused, the closing agent's confused, everybody's confused, and I text him, and he forgot that we were closing on Monday. So, we went ahead and signed our part and left, and then he came down about 4 o'clock and signed his part. So it has been closed on. Everything is copacetic, and I just have to go back down there tomorrow to get my money. So it's all good. It's finally, but in trying to get all the utilities and everything turned off, these people are really, really nice to you, and they bend over backwards when they're trying to get your business. But when you try to shut something off, and I'm talking about the internet here, not a good experience. Okay. We went into the store to turn the router and everything in, and the lady told me, "Well, you have to call this number in the Philippines to get it turned off, and then once it's turned off, then I can accept the router." And I said, "Okay." So I got out of line and went over and sat down and called the number. And she said, "Now I will tell you, tell them you're moving out of the country." Like, what? She said, "Yeah, just trust me. Tell them you're moving out of the country." I said, "Okay." So I finally get, after, 45-minute wait on the phone, I finally get somebody on the phone, and she was right, because they don't even offer service in this area. But yet he is trying to get me to give him the names of friends and families, you know, and I said, "Look, dude, I'm moving out of the country." And that did it. That's all he had to hear. And he's like, "Okay." And so, yeah. So, but everything else went really smooth. And so it was, uh, yeah, it's been an exciting couple of days. So, Randy saying, "Congratulations." Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Scott saying, "Yay, the house is sold." I know y'all are sick to death of hearing about that house. And Debbie saying, "Yay for you." Yes. Thank you. Scott says, "I've heard of situations where the sellers actually didn't show up to the closing." The sellers. Well, this was the buyer. The first buyer ghosted everybody. And I made the mistake of not having her put money down. So the second buyer, I had him put a substantial amount down, and then he didn't show up. And so you can imagine, my brain is being fried. Um, we waited until like 10 minutes after the appointment time and I text him and he's like, "Oh, I just forgot." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." So, Roy says, "Moving is such a pain. I'm never doing it again." Well, Roy, there was kind of, how do I do? Where's your star, Roy? Um, so my thought process and kind of there were several reasons why this transpired. Was one, my all my family lives up here. Um, and that house, I bought that house because I work down there, and it's about a 45-minute to an hour drive one way, and so it was just supposed to be just kind of a place to sleep because I really spent all my time off up here, and the two-parter, the second part of it was I'm getting kind of older, and I didn't want my kids to have to sort through all that stuff. So I still have a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but I don't have near as much. Maybe half of what I did have. So if something does happen to me, the kids don't have to deal with all that. So uh, that was kind of the whole premise behind all of that. So, but yeah, I can't imagine not showing up to whether I'm buying or selling a house. I mean, it's kind of a big day, either way. If you're buying a house, it's a big day. If you're selling a house, it's a big day. So how could you forget? I don't know. Anyway, Scott says, call out the internet provider. It was Optima. They don't even offer service in Broken Arrow. So um yeah, I don't know. The the only I think I've had a tech out twice, and they were awesome because they were awesome people. The company, not so much. So, I did get because I when I moved up here, my daughter already had internet, but as you guys know, it went down one night and it had been doing that, and so I switched providers and new service, right? And they are new to this area, so they had to run a line to the house. Well, the first guy that came out was going to run one overhead. Now, I live in an area where there are no overhead wires. Okay, everything, I mean, there's the main electrical wire, but going across your yard and stuff, there's no overhead wires. Everything has to be buried. First guy comes out and he's going to run it overhead. And I'm like, no, 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 we are not. We're going to bury it. And and then they have to get a third party out to bury it. I don't know why one person can't do everything, but they can't. Okay. It has to go through several people. Anyway, when I signed up, they're like, well, you get $100 Visa gift card for signing up. And then after you pay for 3 months, you get a $300 Visa gift card. And I'm like, okay, it's fine with me. Well, before they even got the service in, I got an email for a Visa gift card. And so I called them and I'm like, hey, y'all haven't even got it hooked up to my house yet. And oh, that's spam. Just ignore it. Well, last week I got another email that this was I was running out of time. This was my last chance. And so I thought, what the heck? I'm just going to go ahead and fill everything out and see what happens. Right. Sure enough, that was the $100 gift card. They actually had sent somehow the process took so long getting it to my house that it had run through the whole thing before I even had service hooked up. So, yeah, I promptly spent it on Amazon on a new backpack. You know, Roy says, the last few years I've been on the lookout for a nice place to retire. My other choices were Munich and just outside of Tokyo. Well, Roy, I love you to pieces, man. I can't really recommend the United States right now. There's just a lot going on right now that Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be attracting very many people. From what I understand, it is a lot cheaper to live here than it is in Australia if like, I live in a really I mean, Oklahoma's a really cheap state to live in, um, but from what I understand, Australia is not. Now, I'm sure you have places in Australia that are, but the ones that I kinda, um I was looking well, no, I was on the Reddit, Mini Baggers or One Bag or something, one of their subreddits, and they were talking about, uh, buying a bag in Australia versus buying it here and having it shipped to Australia, and it was so much cheaper to buy it here, even with shipping. So, I don't know how the currency translates. Um, Royce is talking to Randy saying, "Thanks for the info. I should stop shaking it now. It's still rattling." And Randy's saying, "Roy, Malaysia, where John Ishii and Wayne Maddox live." Um, I actually have a friend that lives in Thailand, I think. She's more of an acquaintance than a friend, but she went there to teach school for, I think her contract is 2 years, and she absolutely loves it. Now she's a little bit younger than I am, but she's not going to renew her contract in Thailand. She's going to go to another country because her goal is to kind of see the world but these contracts are like for 2 years. So when you go to a place, you have to stay for 2 years and then you can either renew or move on. And she's going to move on and see someplace else. So that's kind of cool. She was home visiting, I think, family maybe, a couple months ago. And so we got to see pictures of her place and hear all about it. And so Thailand sounds actually kind of nice. There'd be a huge language barrier. Um, Roy's saying Randy would be nice, but my last visit to Malaysia didn't go so well, protesting against foreigners. Ah, yeah, yeah. And you'd probably stick out like a sore thumb in Malaysia. Scott says they say Vietnam is a great place to retire to, but I still love the old USA. Well, yeah, I I think I want to go somewhere where I kind of can understand the language. So mm, that kind of limits, because every I think a lot of a lot of places speak some English, but not a lot. So so I'm kind of limited. Plus, I would have to get my entire family to move, and I just don't think that's going to happen. So, Royce says to Scott, not fond of the Vietnam delicacy of deep fried tarantula. Yeah, no, 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 that would, no. Or in China with the scorpions. Yeah, I'm out. I would have to go somewhere where they have beef. Lots and lots of beef. So I'll probably end up staying in the USA because I think we are the most, um, I think we consume more beef than any other country in the world. So, all right. So my son is taking a trip to Colorado on Friday, and I'm not going to pack for him, although I'm tempted. But he did come over and he got to pick out which bag he wanted, and I kind of explained packing cubes and the whole thing. But he is taking a rather because he's only taking one. He's only gonna be gone the weekend. He's gonna be gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So he's only taking one bag, and he's a big guy. He's like almost 6'1", very broad shoulders. So when it comes to backpacks, I'm just gonna put it out there. Size does matter. Okay, if you are 6 foot tall, you can carry a bigger bag than a shrimp. Okay. So anyway, he picked one of the bigger bags. It'll still fit under the seat and everything. Everything's still cool. But when they go hiking, which they will do, he doesn't want to carry that big old backpack. So, Sly has got a ton of packable, they call them packable day packs. Now, I don't think I'm trying to choose my words carefully because I don't want to tick anybody off. In a bag that I would take, which the biggest bag I feel comfortable carrying is about 28 liters, 27, 28 liters when it's fully packed out. Now I'm talking computer, clothes, all the paraphernalia that goes with it. He's not taking a computer. He's only taking clothes. He is taking some costumes because I think one of the concerts they're going to is on a Friday night, is on Halloween. So he is taking costume, but he is going to want to go hiking. And he doesn't want to take this 38-liter bag hiking. He doesn't need to take all his clothes with him. They're going back to the same, they're going to stay in the same Airbnb the whole weekend. So he just wants something small. Well, here's the problem with small, okay? If y'all don't know, Matador just had a big sale, and the Matador packable, I think it's called the Refraction packable day bag, is supposed to be like the cream of the crop. Okay, I at this point, I'm not going to say whether it is or not. Of the ones I have, it's probably up there, but it's not my top favorite. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'll show you a little bit. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is the whole bag. Now, it does pack into itself, okay? And it's got water bottle pockets, which to me, if you're going on like even a day hike, you're not going to want to take everything in the kitchen sink with you, but you are going to want to take some water, okay? So it does have nice water bottle pockets. I think it's got one on each side. It's got, it's got some nice compartments so you can like put your hoodie in the main compartment and then, your wallet and stuff in this compartment. But look at how small this thing is. Okay. Now, when I say small, this is small on me. So you can imagine what it looked like on somebody that was quite a bit larger than me. Didn't really fit him so good. Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you, size does matter. Because if you're great big, you don't need a little bitty backpack. You need something bigger. So anyway, this is what I had to pick from. This is by Travelon. Travelon, yes. And again, most of what I have fits me. Now, the 38 liter he took went right there. And it hung on the wall because I did try it once upon a time. And by the time I fill it up, I can't carry it. I mean, I can carry it like through the house, but anytime I fly, I end up coming in at the last terminal and having to go all the way across the airport. So, yeah, it was not, and I knew just trying it on at home with everything packed out in it that it was going to be too much weight for me to carry. So, but that he's taken that for his big bag. But all these packable day packs, they look dwarfed on someone his size. Now he's skinny, but he's got really, really broad shoulders. And these just all look ridiculous. I mean, that's the only way to say it. The Travelon, if you're a normal size, I'm going to say if you're under probably 5'10", and you're, kind of on the slim side, these little day packs are fantastic. The idea behind them is fantastic. I always take one. I typically don't fold it up. I just put it in the suitcase flat, and it's just fine. It works out just fine. But they do come in really handy because you don't want to carry your big bag, if you're just going out. And especially there's like a whole group going, and so everybody's going to have their own little backpacks, and you don't want to take, something great big. But you also don't want to look absolutely ridiculous. And it kinda, I hate to say this, but it kinda looked like he was carrying his mom's backpack when he had one of these on, because they're so small compared to how big he is. So so everybody recommends that Matador. I'm not really sure why. I might recommend it to women. I don't really think I would recommend it to a man. It's just too small, and it looks awkward, right? But this little, I have two that I'm actually gonna let him pick which one he wants. This one is not even available anymore. It's by Wandered, and it's the Veer, 18 liters, which this is 18, the Matador was 16. No. There is so much difference between these two bags. It's not even funny. They both have about the same organization, but this bag is big. This is a good size bag. And they both feel about the same. I mean, the straps and everything. Like if you're comparing, now, whole time I've had it upside down. Sorry about that. There we go. um, the straps and everything, they're about the same. But this looks more like it should look on him. Okay. The other one, since that one's not available anymore, but he can take it if he wants it. This one is still available. And this, again, is a good sized bag. I'm not 100% sure of how many liters this is, but it packs into this pocket. So, I mean, it's kind of big when it's packed up. But again, you can lay it flat. It doesn't take up any space. You can turn it like that, squish the air out, whatever. But because it's longer and bigger, it looks more like a normal backpack on someone larger than myself. I mean, it doesn't look like overly large on me, but it looks large enough for someone big. And then the last option that I gave him is not even a packable bag. It's this little 13-liter day bag that compresses down really small. However, again, my grandson wears this one. When we go for our nature walks and stuff, he wears this. He puts his little water bottle thing in here, and he loves it because it has a whistle on the sternum strap. And so, he just thinks that's really cool. Now, if you looked at the size difference between my 6-year-old grandson and my 32-year-old son, it's noticeable. And this fits my 6-year-old grandson. So, not really a good option for someone bigger. Now, he's really not going to need to carry more than 10 or 13 liters of stuff, but it just doesn't look right. So, that's kind of my, just letting you know. Um, Scott says English is commonly spoken in Vietnam. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think I like their food. That's kind of a priority too, Scott. Okay, because I do like to eat. So there is that. Roy says Argentina has beef, but I can't remember if I've been there. Well, I know cruise ships don't have a lot of beef. Just saying. Randy says, warm clothes now, layers, sweaters, and coat. Yes. And I actually have a coat for him that's a packable, one of those puffy packable things. And so he has to make another trip over here to pick up. He's going to come over on Thursday. But yes, it's 50 degrees. The last time I checked, and it's supposed to fall, I think, to 42 tonight. So probably time to turn my heater on. I probably won't though, because once I go to bed, I stay warm in bed. So yeah, I probably won't. Scott says we used to eat a lot of Australia beef. Seems like the price was very competitive. Now, if Australia has beef, they would think I talk funny because they talk funny, but at least I could understand them. But as long as they don't eat kangaroos, I'm okay. Roy says to Scott, burnt dead cow is one of my favorite foods. Yes, sir. I'm right there with you. And Debbie made it in. What part of Colorado is he going to? I have no idea. Yeah. I just, long as I can know what state, and he'll text me when he gets there and stuff. I probably will have him put a tracker in his bag, just so not just so I know where he's going. Roy says, I need one of those robot dogs to carry my bag. Right? Have you seen those? Those are the cutest things ever, but they look fake. I mean, even in the ad, they're trying to sell these as, oh, they're the most lifelike AI dogs created to date. Well, they still look fake. Yeah, give me a Lucky any day of the week. Except you have to kind of stay home and feed them and, let them out and that kind of thing. Roy says upside down is the right way for Australia, right? Yeah, so that is true. Yeah. It's just the wandered bag, always have trouble with it until I'm wearing it because the top is bigger. Get it out. The top is bigger than the bottom. And almost every other backpack I have is the opposite of that. The top will be kind of thin, and then when you get down to the bottom, it's big. And so I always have trouble with that wandered bag. But yeah, I've carried this one for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, long enough that they've discontinued it. So, um, it is just a fantastic bag. So, um, I really hope that's just thread. I just, my desk mat is kind of a black with this blue dragon going through it. And I just looked down and found this and thought it wasn't just material. But that's so yeah, I mean any of these probably I'm not going to recommend the Matador because it's just it's too small. Um unless you're small, it's going to look funny on you. So there's that. Debbie, the Matador would be good for you. Um Roy says Vietnam food is very French influenced. So we were having a discussion the other day of, uh, and it turned out it wasn't the Philippines. There is an island in, I believe it's the West Indies, and half the island speaks French, and half the south side speaks French, and the north side speaks Dutch. And I couldn't remember what the name of the island was. Oh, Uncle G says, Happy Tuesday, everyone. Big shout out to Sly for hooking it up with a perfect bag for my trip to Colorado. Yeah, yeah, I even taught him how to pack it. Yeah, yeah. So, oh, Aussies do eat kangaroo. Oh, they're so cute. I like. Oh, okay. I like kangaroos. G says he's heading to Denver. Okay. Well, see, answered that question, Deb. Um, all I know is they're getting an Airbnb and they're going hiking and they're going to concerts and they're cooking and just fun stuff. So, um, now we know he's going to Denver. I don't have to know exactly where they're going as long as I know the general area. So if I have to start a manhunt, I know kind of where to send the manhunt. Yeah. Randy says Aussies need to eat a lot more rabbits. Oh. Well, I mean, we eat rabbit. I don't. I personally do not eat rabbits, but I know a lot of country people that do eat rabbits. So apparently they are overflowing in Australia. Well, I mean, Australia is a pretty big place, so I would think they would have a lot of natural predators like hyenas and is that's probably not Australia. Dingoes? Is dingoes Australia? No, I'm not really sure. See, I need to come visit you, Roy, so I know, so I can speak intelligently about other places. Because right now, I do pretty good with Texas and Kansas and Oklahoma and Missouri, which are all neighboring states to Oklahoma. But yeah, I go much further than that. And like for instance, uh, when I go to Las Vegas, they don't have sweet tea. Really? That's like a staple in Oklahoma. You go to a restaurant, you order sweet tea, and it comes out, they make it sweet tea. Okay. If you add sugar to cold tea, that is not sweet tea. You're adding sugar to cold tea. You have to, while the tea is still hot, you have to melt the sugar into it and then add ice. That is sweet tea. Randy says, I lived in Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, for 13 years. We actually have some family out there. They don't claim us. So, uh, my aunt and uncle lived in Denver, and then they had a second house. They loved to ski, and they had a second house, and I cannot remember the name of the town, but it was in the mountains, and don't even know if they still have it yet. So you figure I have cousins that are my age, and yeah, I would not recognize them if they came up to my front door. So um, they don't really claim us, and I think that like my parents' generation is where it wasn't really a feud. It was just we don't want to be part of your life. You don't want to be part of ours. That type of thing. So, um, so yeah, that's why my family is such a small nucleus because it's just me and the kids. So, Debbie says, Denver is a lot of fun. Snow is in the higher mountains. Be careful. I was going to drive to Las Vegas this time until it dawned on me I would have to cross the Rockies. So I probably will fly again because, yeah, I don't want to get stuck in a snowstorm or a blizzard. And I know Colorado is great about their road work. When it snows, they've got it down pat. Unlike Oklahoma, where it snows for 3 days a year and we all act like idiots. Yeah. So I don't think I want to be driving over mountains in December. But that's just, personal preference. So Friday came and went. No DJI release. For this has me kind of worried. They are also dropping their prices on all of their existing stuff, even their drones. If you can find any of them, Amazon has got I think it's the 4S marked down, but they've also got their Mic 2, the Mic Mini. Now they have come out with a Mic 3, and it's not marked down, but the Mic 2 and the Mic Mini are marked down. So it's a great time to pick up some equipment if you don't mind last year's model. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I love the Mic 2, or I'm sorry, the Mic Mini. I have a Mic 2, but for me, it's too big. I don't want something this big on my shirt when I could have something half the size. So, and they sound very, very similar. Now, the Mic Mini will not do onboard recording, and the Mic 2 does. So if that's important to you, then go with the Mic 2. But for me, that's not a big deal for me. So, but Amazon is gearing up for their Black Friday. Usually starts November 1st. They'll have the month of November as Black November. And so they're gearing up. If you try to buy anything on Amazon right now, everything is they've marked everything up so that come November 1st, they can mark it back down and make you think you're getting a sale. But the DJI stuff is truly marked down. So, um, rumors are very prevalent on YouTube and other platforms. Randy, they have been for months. That's how I first heard that Action 6 was coming out, and that was like last spring. And it was going to be released in the summer. And that came and went. No Action 6. And then they said, well, it'll be September. Well, September came and went. No Action 6. And then they said October. And then the last thing I heard was October 24th, and that came and went. Still no camera. So I'm kind of concerned now that even if they do release an Action 6, how long are they going to be supporting it if they lose their FCC license? So I think at this point, I'm going to wait until after January to see what's going to happen, because I may be changing camera systems altogether, which is not going to make me happy. But I mean, if they quit supporting the cameras that I have, then I may have to go that route. So, uh, nothing's immediate. I don't have to do anything right away. My cameras still work fine. Microphones still hook up to them. Everything's fine. But I'm kind of seeing something. I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but I'm getting a little nervous. Let's put it that way. And I don't really. And it was funny because what came out supposedly on this ban thing was drones. It really didn't target the action cameras or the microphones, but DJI is sure dragging their feet releasing the 6. That's all I'm saying. So, um, now you guys know that I really don't care if like Canon discontinued their M series. I don't care. My camera still works great. Yeah, there's no firmware updates for it, but I don't really think I need one. It takes pictures. It does great. It's 32 megapixel. So now the oh, and with that camera, it's not meant to go in the water. Okay. So I can hook up a microphone to it and it's fine. In fact, I did when I went to Las Vegas and I had that camera with me. I did take some video and I hooked up I don't think I had this. Yeah, I did actually. I had just gotten it. I But I don't think I used this one. I think I used the Yolandi, actually. I had just gotten this one, and so I wasn't as familiar with it. And so I just plugged the Yolandi straight into the camera, and it's got the little bitty mics too that you can just put on my little magnet, and it worked perfectly fine. So, I mean, those videos are the audio is very good on them. So, um, and I like the Hollyland M2S. If I wasn't fully immersed in DJI, the Hollyland would probably be the one that I would be looking at. And I think it was on sale during the Amazon Prime days. So I imagine it'll be on sale again in November. So um yeah, it's just I don't know about in Australia, but I know here it behooves you to wait a week and get the Black November pricing instead of pulling the trigger on something in October. Which is why Amazon had their Prime Days in October, because nobody buys anything. They're waiting for the Black Friday prices to drop. So, um, but yeah, I'm just kind of sitting and waiting. And so, Randy, have you sold? Um, I'm assuming, since you said had, that you've sold some of your cameras. I do have a question for you guys. Uh, Debbie asked me about this, and she was talking to someone at Walmart in the electronics department. Okay, no judgment, people. Um, but this guy told her that mirrorless cameras can only accept so big of a lens. Now, this is news to me. If this is correct, would somebody let us know? Because what I told her was, as long as the lens mount and the camera mount are the same, or you can use an adapter, I've seen little bitty mirrorless cameras with really long lenses on them. So I think the guy at Walmart was mistaken, but you guys tell me, because yeah, that's I'm gonna go with, as long as the camera will accept the mount, you can put any size lens on the camera. He's saying you can't. So you guys tell me. Mookie says the Amazon Prime days have been disappointing lately. So I have like 80 something items in my saved for later thing. And so I watch the prices, not quite daily, but every couple of days. And what I'm seeing is that they raise them right before the sale, and then they'll lower them again back to the original price. And so you can click on, I think it's price history. You can click on that and see if it has dropped down below. So let's say this is $13. Okay. Every day of the week, $13. Well, before Black Friday or whatever, they may raise it to $15. And then for the Black Friday sale, they lower it to $13. So it's not really a sale, but it'll show that in the price history. Now, if this comes out at $11, when I've been watching it at 13, then okay, it's $2 off. So, um, but yeah, you're right, Mookie. They have not been as dramatically discounted as they have in the past. So, um, okay, Debbie, if you're still listening, okay, first of all, Randy sold the Z5 Mark II and Canon R8 to get the Nikon ZR with a 50 millimeter 1.5 and a 35 millimeter 1.4. So I like the 35 millimeter 1.4. On my mirrorless cameras, you have to multiply. They've got that CMOS sensor, so you have to multiply by 1.6. So 35 comes out kind of like a 50. And so that's probably, of all my arsenal, the 35 millimeter 1.4 is my favorite. Okay, Debbie, are you listening? There is no limitation to mirrorless lenses as long as it fits the mount. And so if you have a EF TFS mount, you can put as big a lens as you want as long as it has that EF mount. So just saying. Roy says rangefinder cameras have limits, but not DSLR or mirrorless. And see, Debbie, these people know. Just saying. You have like a brain hub right here of people who know everything about cameras. So don't trust the guy at Walmart. Randy says, I have used different camera lenses on multiple cameras with adapters. Yes. And I kind of explained that to her too, was that you can, and I think I'm right about this, you can use an EF or EFS lens on an R camera with an adapter. You cannot use an R lens or a M lens on the opposite. So the M cameras will take the EFS, EF, and EFS and M lenses with an adapter, but not the R. And the R cameras will not, you can't use the M lenses. So it's something about how close the lens is to the sensor. Roy says the longest lens I have on mirrorless is a 2000 millimeter f5.6 reflex. Wow. That would be like Huge, Roy. And Debbie says, "Thank you, guys." Yeah, see, I knew they would know. Um, Maybe I need to go to work for Walmart in their electronics department. Yeah, that don't ever trust anybody. Now, if a guy at a camera store had told you that, yeah, I kind of might have scratched my head on that one a little bit. But when you said it was a guy from Walmart, I'm like, yeah, no, don't bite on that one. Um, so what prompted this discussion was Walmart has a camera. Debbie takes a lot of sports pictures, and she recently replaced her T5i with a SL3, and they have a she couldn't remember what model it was. And so I told her, I said, before you actually buy the camera, please let me know what model it is so I'll know if it's compatible with what you have. So, uh, because if it's an R camera, there is an adapter that she can get for her lenses to go to an R camera, but she couldn't remember which model it was. But they had it on sale for like $100 off. So it was a pretty good price, depending on which camera it is. So a lot of things go into that. But I'm very content using my action cameras. Um, I did make a mistake at Great Wolf Lodge, and I had it zoomed in. That was operator error because I didn't even realize it. I should have. You know, I over the years I don't look at myself anymore, and that goes with whatever I'm filming with. So when I had the action camera, I was focused on the lens and not on the picture beside it, or I would have probably caught it. But I just don't even look anymore. So, um, I'll like frame myself up to make sure I'm kind of sort of in the middle somewhere, and that's it. And I just flat did not catch it. I also had it set because I shoot the action cameras in manual, and I also had it set for outdoors because the Action 5 it's great in low light, but it still has a little bit of a problem outdoors in bright sunlight. And so I had it toned down a little bit. Well, Great Wolf Lodge is like all the hallways where you do the quests are really, really, really dark. Like they don't, if they have any lights at all, they'll be colored lights. And just to kind of enough for you to kind of see your way through the hallway. And so those pictures came out really quite dark, which again, if I had set it on auto, it would have auto adjusted for that. And that's totally my fault. And I didn't even pick up on it until I started editing the video. So, um, yeah, it's going to be a little bit dark, but some of the really close-up shots, I'm just going to voice over and and not show those. Yeah. Yeah, I'll stick something else in there that, and maybe a picture of the dragon we were fighting and just let the audio run, but you won't have to get up close and personal of my face. So, but it's happened to everybody. I'm not going to get upset about it. It is what it is, and it was a good kind of a good lesson for me. The videos in the car going up there and coming back are perfect because we're in bright sunlight. And so they came out really, really good. Still a little tight, but that's okay. Um, you can when in the editing that you can zoom in, but you can't really zoom out. So it is what it is. But I'll know for next time. Be sure and check the camera before you just hit record and just go off and start, which is what I did. That's exactly what I did. And like I said, when we were outside is when I started recording and everything looks great. And I did not check it when we went inside to make sure it still looked great. So totally my screw up, but um, life goes on. And if, somebody once told me, if you worry about the little things, how can you, if you spend all your time worrying about the little things, you can't focus on the big things. And I really like that uh, philosophy, because I would much rather spend my time thinking about the big things than worrying about all the little things that I screw up. And there's a plenty. So, um, but guys, Jeff, I will get to your pictures. I I have had a lot going on these last couple of weeks, and but things should start to slow down. Although we are coming up on the holidays, and I do have some travel coming up, but I will get to those pictures, Jeff. I promise. It just, when you retire, things are supposed to be slower. I didn't get the memo because nothing has slowed down. That's for sure. So, tomorrow I've got to go back down to Muskogee, and then Thursday, I'm not sure what I'm doing Thursday. Um, I think I don't think I'm getting my grandson on Thursday. I know there's something on my calendar about Thursday. I have had to start writing this stuff down because I would forget. I forget a lot of stuff. So I'm having to start writing stuff down. That's how busy I'm getting. And but Jeff, I promise I will get to those. So um Randy is saying, good night, everyone. Have a great week. Stay safe and keep smiling. Congratulations, Sly, on selling the house. Cheers. Thank you so much, sir. Everybody, enjoy Friday night. I absolutely get a hoot out of seeing all these kids come up dressed up and all their costumes. Some of them I don't even know what they are, and that's okay. Um, yes, Randy. Thursday, Uncle G is getting a bag from you. He's actually getting a coat and a bag. He already has his travel bag, but he's getting a coat and a day pack. So, um, yeah, and he has to go to the bank with me. So, I can't carry all that cash by myself. So he has to help me with that. But yeah, so everybody have a fantastic week. It'll be November next time I see you. And stay safe, everybody. And we will see you next week. And Mookie says, take care and stay safe during Halloween, everyone. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it and eat lots of candy. Good night, everyone.